Hello everybody, welcome to Race 5 of the iGPFun-SRF League 2015 Season 2. We are racing at Phillip Island, wonderful track, especially in the SRF. The cars are gridding, getting ready to start now. Race is going to be 24 laps, approximately 45 minutes. Top 10 drivers were very close on the grid. We expect a lot of passing, a lot of very fun racing. Cars are starting now. Clean start as usual in our series. The cars are approaching turn 4, that's one of the overtaking spots, very tight hairpin, second gear, third gear for somebody. Everybody seems clear. A lot of passing and just in pole position, of course. Now a fast section. This is flat out, moving towards a fourth gear left-hander. This one coming from the left. And then heavy downhill braking for the second to last corner of the lap. That's a very important exit from the corner, because when you carry the speed all over the start-finish straight. The draft is important on this straight. People will overtake each other. And lap 1 is over. Evan Merrill is challenging Jamie Fluke for the lead. It seems like there are 7 cars in the top group. They have created a gap from the other drivers. This is Clark Williams running wide, went off. Sorry, couldn't follow it with the camera. Jairo is attacking Sven. Jairo is the grey, orange and black car. Seven cars in the lead group, as I was saying. Jamie Fluke, Evan Merrill is leading the championship so far. Jairo Via, Sven Demn, Stian Vensen, Luca Varani, Edward Forer, apologies for the mispronunciation, if anything. 7 cars in 1.5 seconds over the start-finish line. There is another 3 cars following. That's Luca Agretti, Giovanni Sellito, and Ron Wallace, I believe. Meanwhile, Jairo, Jamie and Evan swapping position. It's very difficult to be on the outside of this second corner. It's Stoner corner, as Jairo just did. You lose a lot of speed. It's actually very easy to be sucked off track. Back in the pack, position 13, Claudio Ferrari in the yellow car and Pierre-Antoine Copol. They have been passing each other every lap since the start, side by side at turn 4. Moving back to the leaders, we're going side by side in this part of the track. It's not really worth it. Sven in the orange, pinkish, salmon, whatever you call it, car has lost a couple of places. Let's move the camera to the first 3 cars. We expect another set of overtaking on the main straight. This is the end of lap 3. Evan Merrily, Garril getting out of the draft of Jamie Fluke. We missed it with overlays, sorry. Edward Forer is closing this group of 7 cars with a white and blue car. Very elegant livery for him. Behind them, Gianni Sellito has just passed Ron Wallace. We had off on the second corner. It's a very difficult corner, as I was saying. Pierre-Antoine and Claudio Ferrari still attacking each other. Position 13. In this group there is also Matthias Schwarzmann, little ahead of these guys. Ed Rice, position 13 with a black and yellow car. Mark Underwood with a blue and white car, and Jonathan Kier with a yellow car. Again, going back to the leaders. Evan Merrill is currently first, but everything is gonna change on the main straight once again. Sven is actually attacking on the last corner. That's a little weird. Usually it doesn't happen. Luca Varani, purple car, is getting out of the draft together with Jairo. Jairo, the grey car, number 24, going for the lead. And Luca Varani has passed Stian Svensson for position 5. Let's look at the battle for position 9 to 15, really. That's another group of cars. Very close together. They're not passing each other anymore, it seems. Maybe that was a spin actually by Ed Rice. I lost it. I don't know what happened to him. He's safely rejoining the track. He has lost a lot of places, of course. He's now 18, I believe. Leading cars. That's a really nice pack of 7 cars all together. Very close racing, very clean racing also. Stian Svensson just went on the inside of Luca Varani. He had to drive wide. Now he has a bit of a gap to Sven in position 4. Maybe the leaders can get away. Probably not. The draft is very strong on this track. Evan Merrily and Jamie Fluke. They had the first 2 spots on the grid, I believe. switching position once again. After the 7 leaders, there is Luca Agretti, position 8, 4 seconds behind the car in front of him. Gianni Sellito, position 9, and Matthias Schwarzmann. These 3 guys have been passing each other. Luca Agretti, the grey and green car, leading this little group, has some damage, whereas Jonathan Kiar in the back is passing Pierre-Antoine for position 13. Passing on the outside, Pierre-Antoine is coming back, but no, Jonathan can keep the position. Let's go back to the leaders, very close by once again. Fast left-hander for Kiar, no braking, and then heavy braking downhill for the very tight right-hander, second or third Kiar. Hard acceleration for the final and main straight. Races have been decided and will be decided today on the very final straight, the very final lap. Side-by-side racing once again. 5 cars are now getting ahead a little bit of the black and white cars of Stian Wensen and Edward Forer. I really don't know how to pronounce the names, sorry. Jairo passing Evan, the white car, is losing position. Was second, now is fourth. Side by side going into turn 4, slow left-hander. This actually is giving Stian Wensen a chance to catch back up, whereas this is the second group of cars. It's really nice racing up front, side by side through just about every corner. I don't know if I want to be side by side through the left-hander as well. In fact, Sven in the Salmon car has lifted and let Evan through. Edward Forer, meanwhile, had an off-track. He has lost contact with the main group. Now another one is getting out of the way cleanly. He probably has blown his chances of winning the race. Too bad. Edward Forer has just joined the league. This is his 3rd race. He has been doing really well in qualifying, very, very fast. Not as good in our races yet, but that's normal. You need some experience to run 45 minutes in a tight pack, side by side, racing, plenty of overtaking. You need some training to do that. Training that you can get everywhere through the field in our races. I'm keeping the cameras on the lead group just because there is so much going on, but everywhere through the field there are just as many battles, there is just as much close racing. This is maybe, well, Varani getting a little long under braking, forcing Sven wide to avoid problems. Varani purple car had locked the wheel behind him. Luca Agretti went wide. He arrived too long under braking and ended up on the grass. He has lost 2 places. Behind him, Jonathan Kiar, position 12, Mark Underwood, position 12, and Pierre-Antoine Coupol just behind them. Pierre-Antoine has lost some position. He must have had some problems. He was racing with Claudio Ferrari, who is now in position 10, and battling with Luca Agretti now and Edward. is a cockpit view from Claudio Ferrari and Edward. The leading group is actually going 3 wide over the finish line. The cameras are not with them, but I can read it, I can see it from the gaps. Let's switch to Claudio, and they are making it 3 wide to turn 1 as well. Edward closed the gap, Claudio lifted, that was a good move. Side by side with Luca Gretti on the left. Let's see. It's very tough, as I was saying, to go outside our cars here. Leading pack, getting into the hairpin, turn 4. Evan Merrill again on the lead. It's 6 cars now in the lead pack. Edward lost contact. Lap times 1:49.2. That's with a draft, but that is a very, very, very fast lap times. Let's look at the gearbox of Evan. That's the view behind him. The gap is a little larger now. That's relatively speaking, of course. We still had, when Edward was still part of the group, we had 7 cars within 1.5 seconds of the leader, and this was on lap 8. 8 of 24, 1/3 of the race. Main straight, 9 lap completed actually. Jamie Fluke is coming towards us and passing on the inside. Jairo now in the lead. About 170 kilometers per hour for this corner. That's very, very tough. Going down to approximately 110 for Stoner corner. Let's see, Jairo getting a run into turn 4. Will certainly be attacked by Evan. Whereas Stian has now lost some ground. Position 6. He is now 1.4 seconds behind position 5, Luca Varani. Maybe missed a gear or something. Behind the 6 leaders, it's now Giovanni Sellito and Matthias Schwarzmann fighting for position 7 and 8. Let's look at the cockpit from Giovanni Sellito. Looking at Matthias with that. Seems far behind. I don't think he's going to pass on this lap. So let's go back to the leaders that are swapping positions once again. Jairo is now leading. Evan is second. Sven in 3rd place. Jamie Fluke dropped to 4th. And Luca Varani 5th, sitting behind just about all the time. The black car losing some ground is Stian Svensson. Getting 2 or 3 wide for the hairpin. Two by 2. Now we're getting into the tight left-hander. And we get single fight for this corner. The top 5 cars are now separated by 1 second. Giovanni Sellito is attacking Matthias Schwarzmann for position 7. We are currently 12 seconds behind the leader. We're going side by side by the look of it. Position 9, Edward Forer. Claudio Ferrari is 10th. Jonathan Kier, 11. Mark Underwood, Pierre-Antoine Coppol, Luca Lonetto Agretti. We are all within 1 second, position up to 14th. Ron Wallace, position 15. 16 is Clark Williams, after he's off on lap 1. Clark had the pole position last race at Summit. He drove a very, very strong race, finished 3rd, less than 1/10. Oh, Jair is off track, rejoining just in front of Luca Varani. That was dangerous. 11 laps completed. Varani may attack Jairo, but that's not a smart move. They have a gap of 1 second now from the cars in front. They need to work together to catch them back. The draft range is about 1.2 seconds with these cars. It depends on the speed, of course, on the top speed of the track, but that's just about the range. If you have 3 cars working together up front and you lose the draft, you are not going to catch them back, especially because we are talking lap times in below 49. As a reference, I think the pole position for the official SRF season in iRacing was 49.6. So this is really fast pace, and it's not a single lap, it's 24 laps. That's the top 3 drivers. If they work together, they can create a gap and drop Luca and Jairo behind them. Jamie Fluke, black and red car, is attacking for 4th place. But as you can see behind them, Luca Varani is sitting tight behind Jairo, not attacking him. They're clearly working together to try to catch the leaders back. 12 laps completed, halfway distance, and yet not a single moment to spare. The gap from Sven to Jairo is now 1.1 seconds. You can read it at the bottom. That's just about outside the draft range. Evan Merrill, white car, attacking Jairo, and Sven going side by side. This is actually good for the guys behind them. You can see Jairo is now 0.6 seconds behind the car in front, so that was 4 or 5 tenths gained in a single corner. So basically Jairo and Luca are back in the pack. It's still a 5 cars race. Not quite yet, but it's going to happen. 0.7 seconds, that's enough to be sucked back in with the draft. I'm not looking at the battle for 8, 9 and 10, but actually let's look at them. It's Claudio Ferrari, as now, so Matthias Schwarzmann, Claudio Ferrari and Giovanni Sellito were together, separated by 0.4 seconds. They are now separated by a couple of seconds, 1.8. Something must have happened among them. I'm sorry, I just cannot follow everything going on track. It's really, there is really a lot of action. These are the leaders going through turn 2. Gorgeous background view of the ocean. It's a really nice track, both for driving, racing, and just enjoying the scenery. Again, The leading cars were going side by side into the hairpin, turn 4, and by doing so they of course had to slow down, and they lost a clean half a second to Jairo and Luca Varani, who are now back in the group. This is the end of lap 14, another 10 laps to go. And I have no idea who's gonna win out of these 5 guys. They are all in contention. Stian Benson is now lost the draft, is dropped back to 4 seconds behind the leaders. So he should not be a contender for the win. But then again, if these guys up front touch and crash, then he's gonna be in the best position actually. Sven Demel now in position 1. I'm sure everything is going to change under braking for the hairpin once again. Sven running a wide line to leave Evan room for racing. That's nice. That's very smart and clean racing. We drive hard in this league. We also drive very clean and respectfully. That's more fun for everybody. Let's look at Edward. He was just passed by Matthias Schwarzmann for position 8. Try to look at the gearbox of Edward. This is actually what he is looking at, the very elaborated livery of Matthias. Position 8 for Matthias right now. Position 8 in this field is it's quite a feat. At 22 cars in this race, the strength of field is, I believe, something like 3,200. So there are quite fast drivers. There is nothing to be ashamed of for running just behind the top guys. That was close. Edward went really close. This is Matthias. Let's see if he is gonna see Edward cutting across or not. No, he's actually keeping the lead. Alright, let's go back to another view. Claudio Ferrari is just behind them. There is Mark Underwood and Gianni Sellito. You just saw them passing by. Mark Underwood has moved back up to position 10, probably taking advantage of the battles around him. You can see easy the blue and white car. He just passed Gianni Sellito with the yellow car for position 10. You could see in the background Luca Agretti, grey and green car of the Team GT, Italian Team GT. He has damage after contact in the early race, so his car is probably slow. He's a much faster driver. He usually would be with the lead pack. And talking about the lead pack, let's look at them. 16 laps completed. This is lap 17. Luca Varani has passed Jairo for position 4 in the main straight. The race is actually getting to its late stages, so people are starting to trying to position themselves for the all-important final laps. The tires are giving up a little. The grip is certainly not ideal. Lap times are still very fast, but that's because the car is getting lighter and faster, but the grip is definitely not there. I can see in the background of the shot there is a great battle for position 8. I just don't know what to follow with the cameras, to be honest. So we have the top 5 drivers currently: Sven, Evan, Jamie, Luca and Jairo. 1.1 seconds separating them, 5 cars in 1 second, that's nice. Then there is a gap of about 5 seconds, 5.2 seconds. Stian Svensson, position 6. Meanwhile, Evan is going for the lead once again. So Stian Svensson, position 6, he has lost the draft. Then there is a 12-second gap with Edward Forer in position 7. Claudio Ferrari is 8. Mark Underwood is 9. Giovanni Sellito is 10th. Luca Agretti, 11. We are all together. Let's look at Mark Underwood being passed by Gianni Sellito with the yellow car. 17 laps completed, by the way, out of 24. So position 11 is Luca Agretti with a damaged car. Let's have a look. The blue car is Mark going outside for the hairpin, attacking Sellito. He had a nice run out of T2 and a clean attack. Sorry, we lost them. Side by side. Clean attack, I was saying, for the hairpin. He's on the inside for this corner now. He should have a position. Gianni is not giving up, but cannot hold on that line. And actually, Luca Agretti is now attacking and passing Gianni. So you try to gain a position, you end up losing one. Behind them is Jonathan Kier and Pierre-Antoine Coupol, with just about a couple of tenths between them, not even that. Strange line by Jonathan with a yellow car for this corner. I've never seen that line. Back to the leaders. We just passed through turn 1, swapping positions once again. Sven, that was bad actually. Sven went off on turn 2. That's lap 19, 5 laps to go, and is now in position 6. There is some problems. I'm seeing cars disappearing here in the lead pack. That's a network problem. That's one of the peculiarities of online racing. Jamie Fluke, black and red car, now in the lead. Luca Varani going on with a purple car, going on the inside of Evan Merrill. Luca always gives the position up in this situation, and he has done so this time as well. Maybe he should become more aggressive, I don't know. The top 3 are also the top 3 in the standings. Whereas Varani has lost it under acceleration. That's the race for him. He's back on track, but he has lost contact with the leading group. Not only is very slow, Stian Svensson is catching up to him very quickly. And Jairo has lost the draft of the top two. So 19 laps completed, and it's now a two cars battle for the win. Evan Merrill now in position 1. 50.4, you can see that's a slow lap. Of course, people fighting are not going to go as fast as by themselves. Let's follow the battle for the lead. The races, usually on this track, races are decided on the very last straight. Somebody likes to be in front on the last corner. Somebody thinks that it's better to be second, get a toe down the straight and pass just before the finish line. It's difficult to say, really. It's a personal taste. Jamie Fluke is very, very aggressive on the tail of Evan Merrill. Let's look at the gearbox from Evan. That's his view. I can see a lot of swapping for position around position 8 to 10, 8 to 11 really. Now is Giovanni Sellito position 8, Claudio Ferrari 9, Luca Gretti 10, Mark Underwood 11, whereas Jonathan Kier and Pierre-Antoine Coupola still have 0.1 seconds between them. They've been together the whole race. Let's look at them, and then we will move back to the leaders for the final 4 laps. Lap 20 has been completed. Evan was really wide. He picked up some dirt. It's normal to drive the car on the curb on corner entry, not to pick up the dust. Too bad the 5 cars group was broken. Still an exciting race for the win. So let's look at, this is Giovanni Sellito attacking Claudio Ferrari. I just saw a gap of 0.00 seconds on the finish line. Battle for 8. That was Luca Gretti spinning and crashing once again. He's losing position. That's a quick look at Pierre-Antoine and Jonathan. Battle for 11, still together. That's the leaders instead. I just realized I never shown a cockpit view. This is Jamie Fluke. Evan Merrill now. "21 laps completed, 3 to go. We're gonna stay with the leaders for the end of the race. But meanwhile, actually, just a quick look. Stian Svensson has caught Luca Varani, battle for position 4. Jamie and Evan separated by 2/10 right now. Jairo is about 1.5 seconds behind them. He's just driving his race. Then there is a 5-second gap to Luca Varani in position 4. Stian Svensson just behind him. Position 6 is Van Demel after his off-track. He was fighting for the lead. And then position 7, Edward Forer. And Claudio Ferrari and Gianni Sellito battling again for position 8. I can see that Pierre-Antoine has now passed Jonathan for position 11. At last. The guys have been together for the whole race, basically. Evan Merrill back in the lead with 2 laps to go, 22 completed. No, he's actually not in the lead. I think he did it on purpose. He wanted to stay second. I'm not sure, of course, but I believe he lifted. Whereas Stian Svensson has passed Luca Varani for position 4. Jamie and Evan going towards the hairpin. There is a lap car up ahead. I think it's Sivar Noah Wolf or Ed Rice, I'm not sure. Didn't quite have a look at it. It's neither actually, it's Fulvio Policardi. So this is the penultimate lap. Jamie is leading the race, sitting tight. Evan has lost some ground. That's just a plowed out part of the track. He must have missed a gear shift. So all of a sudden Jamie has 1.1 seconds advantage with just over a lap to go. That's the race, I believe. It's the final corner of the second to last lap. We're looking at Jamie, but it's actually Evan is being sucked up by Jairo now. I wonder what's the problem with him. The white, red and green car is fully Policardi, is lapped. Meanwhile, Luca Varani is passing Stian. That's position 4. This is the last lap. Stian is not giving up, but eventually has to. The top 3 positions are kind of fixed, except that Jairo is right on the tail of Evan. He's gonna attack for the hairpin. Behind them, Luca Varani and Stian Vensen, 0.1 seconds behind them. Evan keeping the inside, is holding his position. This is the last lap, 24 laps. Jamie passing the lapped car, we don't really care. Luca Varani resisted on the hairpin, I can see it on the back of the image. And Evan is slow again, same place as before. He must have missed a gear shift, I have no other explanation. Jairo is now in second place. Jamie has the lead. I'm sure he has won the race. This is the final corner. Let's see if Evan is gonna slingshot past Jairo for position 2. No, he has lost ground again. Another missed shift maybe. So let's look at Stian Svensson. Battle for 4th with Luca Varani in the purple car. Race is over, Jamie has won it, Jairo is second. Evan has crashed out, that's weird. And Stian and Luca, that's a 0.016 seconds, when 16 milliseconds gap on the line. Sven, position 6, Edward is 7. Gianni Sellito made it 8. I'm not sure how he built a gap. Matthias Schwarzman with Jonathan, that's another close finish. I actually don't know who was ahead of them. Actually, Jonathan Kiard has beaten Pierre-Antoine for position 11 by 1,000 of a second. That's some really exciting finish we have had. Anyway, I hope you had fun watching the race. I know my broadcast is not the best, but I hope you still enjoyed it. This is actually the final position. You can see some of the gaps are really close. Jamie Fluke won the race, Jairo was second, Evan Merrill, Luca Varani, Stian Svensson, Sven Demel, Edward Forer, Giovanni Sellito, Claudio Ferrari, Mark Underwood with the top 10. Position 11 for Jonathan Kiar, you can see actually 43.436 seconds behind the leader, but position 12, Pierre-Antoine, 33.436 seconds behind the leader. That must have been an exciting finish. I'm sorry I couldn't get him on camera. Matthias Schwarzmann, he dropped back to position 13. He lost 5 places in the last 3 or 4 laps. Something must have happened to him. Again, I apologize, but we just cannot follow everything that's going on track. It's just too many battles all over the place. Luca Agretti, position 14. Ron Wallace was 15. Tim Phillip, Gerard McArevy, again, I don't know how to pronounce it, sorry. Orest Ludwig, Fulvio Poricardi, Clark eventually retired. I again hope you enjoyed the race. I invite all of you to join our league races. There is great racing for everybody with every skill level. Just look for us on iRacing to join. Everybody is welcome. Thank you very much for watching.